Plenty of celebration, but if you're in recovery from addiction, this season can be especially difficult. Here's Pamela's story.
My life has been a roller coaster ride of addiction and recovery. I picked up my first drink when I was 13. I had my first blackout when I was 13. I drank because I liked the way it felt. I hit my first rehab when I was 20, the second one at 27. And I took some serious bottoms. The first bottom was a physical bottom. I was going to be homeless. The second bottom was a spiritual and emotional bottom. I was pregnant, and I had a chance to live or to die. And with life in me, I wanted to live. I've been sober now a little more than 5 years. Recovery takes a tremendous amount of work. It's especially around the holiday time, because you are exposed to a lot more alcohol, a lot more substances. The pressures make it difficult for us to stay sober.
Pamela's here. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Along with Mike Dow, psychotherapist and best-selling author. He's also a member of my core team. So, the holidays are an interesting time because it's the best of times for folks who have everything worked out, and for folks who are struggling, especially with addiction, it can be the worst of times. But it's still, around the holidays, a time when triggers will continue to tug at you. What do you do to make sure you don't fall prey to things that happened in the past?
I learned not to become complacent. So some of the things that I do to maintain my recovery is double up on meetings, lots of prayer and meditation, spiritual literature, positive affirmations, staying around people that are positive and that are sober.
So Dr. Mike has some tips he's prepared for this high-risk season in order to preserve all of our sobriety and all the other problems we might have. This is not just about alcohol, by the way. It applies to a lot of other addictive behaviors. And Mike, if you can walk us through these. The first step, we say, has to do with planning ahead, which I heard a little bit from you as well.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so there's that mantra, failing to plan is planning to fail. So if you are in recovery this holiday season, it is time to, before you go to that next city, make sure you know where those meetings are. Make an appointment with your sponsor. If you're a food addict, eat a healthy meal before you go to that holiday party, because you can really set yourself up for success if you just plan a little bit ahead.
Shopping addiction is even more of a problem.
That too.
Second, you have to actually add to your life. Not taking away all the time, because it's the holidays, right? You have to add to it.
Yeah, so this is called behavioral replacement therapy. One of the things that I do, I travel a lot, is I have one of my favorite yoga classes on my iPhone, so I can actually listen to it and just do yoga in my hotel room. So it's about adding to your life. What are the healthy activities, the behaviors, the foods that you can add to your life so that when you have those holiday stresses, hungry, angry, lonely, tired, which a lot of addicts feel around the holidays, you have those healthy go-to behaviors. And I would suggest that every person in recovery have a list of 5 or 6 things you are going to do when you're at home with your family or you're stressed out and lonely, you can go to make you feel a little bit better.
So what you add to your life?
I added good friends, lots of meetings. I do a lot of service work as well with families who are in recovery, whether it's their family member or themselves in recovery.
Thank you for doing that. When you give, you get, which I know we all say, but it's the only time, paradoxically, you think you'd be less when you give away. It does the opposite.
It does the opposite
this time of year. Now, the final tip, I think is a really important one, is practice loving kindness meditation. That seems really woo-woo, but I want you to break it down so folks know what you mean.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to give you a little express one, Pamela.
Thank you.
Will you do it for me,
I will
Pamela?
do it for you.
Okay, I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to picture somebody who's in your support system, who you love, who you find it really easy to love. Do you see that person?
I do.
Okay, now I want you to feel loving kindness from your heart. Do you feel that?
I do.
Okay, now I want you to picture somebody in your family or somebody who is sort of difficult to love at times. And maybe this is a person you're going to see around the holidays. Do you see that person?
I do.
Okay, now I want you, with the same intensity, to send them that loving kindness. Do you feel that?
Yes.
And then finally, that third step, now I want you to picture yourself. And all that loving kindness you sent that person who's easy to love or difficult to love, I want you to send that to yourself. Do you feel that?
I do.
Now open your eyes. What did that do for you?
It gave me a pause to breathe, to hear the kind words and the loving and gentleness of what you were expressing, so that I didn't feel overwhelmed.
And
it calms my mind, it calms my heart.
And if you did that, do you think it'd be a little bit easier when you walked into that holiday party and maybe there's a family member who's difficult to deal with?
Absolutely.
Great.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Glad to hear that.
Thank you for sharing your story. Dr. Dow, it's always fantastic being here. His new book, The Brain Fog Fix, is available in stores now. When we come back,